All right, guys. It is late again tonight, and I'm just now getting around to doing this podcast. So we are going to do this as quickly as possible. We are reading for January 20th. Genesis 41:17 through 42:17. And Pharaoh said unto Joseph in my dream, Behold, I stood upon the bank of the river, and behold, there came up out of the river 7 kine. That's Kine, fat fleshed and well favored, and they fed in on a meadow. And behold, 7 other kine came up after them, poor and very ill favored, and lean fleshed, such as I have never seen in all the land of Egypt for badness. And the lean and ill favored kine did eat up the first 7 fat kine. And when they had eaten them up, it could not be known that they had eaten them, but they were still ill flavored as in the beginning. So I woke. Sorry. And I saw in my dream, and behold, 7 ears came up in one stalk, full and good. And behold, 7 ears withered, thin and blasted, with the east wind sprung up after them. And the thin ears devoured the 7 good ears. And I told this unto the magicians, but there was none that could declare it to me. And Joseph said unto Pharaoh, The dream of Pharaoh is one. God hath shewed Pharaoh that he is about to do. And 7 good kine were 7 years, and 7 good ears are 7 years in the dream is one. And 7 thin and ill flavored kine that came up after them were 7 years, and 7 empty ears blasted with the east wind shall be 7 years of famine. This is the thing which I have spoken unto Pharaoh. What God is about to do, he shrewd unto Pharaoh. Behold, there come 7 years of great plenty throughout all the land of Egypt, and there shall rise after them 7 years of famine, and all the plenty shall be forgotten in the land of Egypt, and the famine shall consume the land. And the plenty shall not be known in the land by reason of that famine following, for it shall be very grievous. And that dream was doubled into Pharaoh's twice. It became the thing that is established by God, and God will shortly bring it to pass. Now therefore let Pharaoh look out a man discreet and wise, and set him over the land of Egypt. I gotta turn on my fan, guys. I'm not feeling very good right now. I don't know what's going on. Okay. Now therefore let Pharaoh look out a man discreet and wise, and set them over the land of Egypt. Let Pharaoh do this, and let him appoint officers over the land, and take up the 5th part of the land of Egypt in the 7 plenteous years. And let them gather all the food of those good years that come, and lay up under or corn under the hand of Pharaoh, and let them keep both food in the cities. And what food shall be for store to the land against the 7 years of famine, which shall be in the land of Egypt, and the land perish not through the famine. And the thing that was good in the eyes of Pharaoh, and in the eyes of all of his servants. And Pharaoh said unto his servants, Can we find such one as this, a man of whom the Spirit of God is? And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, For as much as God hath shewed thee all of this, there is none too discreet and wise as thou art. Thou shalt be over thy house, and according to thy word shall all the people be ruled only in the throne, and I will be greater than thou. And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, See, I have set thee over the land of Egypt. And Pharaoh took off his ring and on his hand, and put it on Joseph's hand, and arrayed him in vestures of fine linen, and put a gold chain about his neck. And he made him to ride the 2nd chariot which he had, and they cried before him, bowed the knee, and made him ruler over the land of Egypt. And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, I am Pharaoh, and without thee shall no man lift up his hand or foot on the land of Egypt. And Pharaoh called Joseph's name Zephaniah Paneth, and he gave him to wife Asenath, the daughter of Potiphar, and priest On. And Joseph went over all the land of Egypt. And Joseph was 30 years old when he stood before Pharaoh king of Egypt. And Joseph went out from the presence of Pharaoh, and he went through out of all the land of Egypt. And in the 7 plenteous years of the earth brought forth by handfuls. And he gathered up all the food, and 7 years they were in the land of Egypt, and laid in the food of in the cities, and the food of the field which was bound or round about every city laid up in the same. And Joseph gathered corn as the sand of the sea, very much until he left numbering it, for it was without number. And unto Joseph were born 2 sons before the years of famine came, which was Asenath, the daughter of Potiphar, priest of On, bare unto him. And Joseph called the name of the firstborn Manasseh, for God said, He hath made me forget all my toil and all my father's house. And the name of the second called Ephraim, for God hath caused me to be fruitful in the land of my affliction. And the 7 years of plenteousness that was in the land of Egypt were ended. And the 7 years of dearth began and come according to Joseph had said. And the dearth was in all the lands, but in the land of Egypt there was bread. And when all the land of Egypt was famished, the people cried to Pharaoh for bread. And Pharaoh said unto all the Egyptians, Go unto Joseph, what he has said to you. And the famine was over in the face of the earth. And Joseph opened up all the storehouses and sold to the Egyptians. And the famine waxed sore in the land of Egypt. And all the countries came unto Egypt to Joseph for to buy corn, because that the famine was so sore in all the lands. And then Jacob saw that there was corn in Egypt. Jacob said unto his sons, Why don't you look upon another? And he said, Behold, I have heard that there is corn in Egypt. Get you down thither to buy us from hence, and we may live and not die. And Joseph's 10 brothers went down to buy corn in Egypt. But Benjamin, Joseph's brother, and Jacob sent not with his brother, for he said, Lest peradventure mischief befall him. And the sons of Israel came to buy corn among those that came for the famine in the land of Canaan. And Joseph was governor over the land, and he it was that sold to all the people of the land. And Joseph's brethren came and bowed down themselves before him, which was there on their faces, with their faces to the earth. And Joseph saw his brethren, and he knew them, but made himself strange unto them, and spake roughly unto them. And he said unto them, Whence come ye? And they said, From the land of Canaan to buy food. And Joseph knew his brethren, but they did not know him. And Joseph remembered that the dreams which he dreamed of them, and said unto them, Ye are spies to come to the nakedness of the land, ye are come. And they said unto him, Nay, my lord, but to buy food are thy servants come. When we were all one man's sons, we are all true men, thy servants are no spies. And he said unto them, Nay, but to you see the nakedness of the land ye are come. And they said, Thy servants are 12 brethren, the sons of one man in the land of Canaan. And behold, the youngest in this day with our father, and one is not. And Joseph said unto them, That is it. I spake unto you, saying, Ye are spies. Hereby ye shall be proved. By the life of the Pharaoh, ye shall not go forth hence, except your youngest brother come hither. Send one of you, and let him fetch your brother, and he shall be kept in prison until your words may be proved, whether there are any truth in you, or else by the life of Pharaoh, surely ye are spies. And he put them all together in ward 3 days. Matthew 13:24-46. Another parable put out he, Jesus, forth unto them, saying, The kingdom of heaven is likened unto a man which sowed good seed in his field. But while men slept, his enemy came and sowed tares among the wheat, and went his way. But when the blade was sprung up, and brought forth fruit, and appeared the tares also. So the servants of the household came and said unto him, Sir, dost not thou sow good seed in the field? From whence he have had its tares? He said unto them, An enemy had done this. The servants said unto him, Wilt thou then go and gather them up? And he said, Nay, least while in gather up the tares, ye roots up also the wheat with them. Let both grow together until the harvest. And the time of harvest I will say to the reapers, Gather ye together first the tares, and bind them in the bushels to burn them, and gather the wheat unto my barn. Another parable put ye forth unto them, saying, The kingdom of heaven is like a grain of mustard seed, which man took the sowed in his field, which indeed is the least of the seeds, but when it is grown, it is the greatest among herbs, and becometh a tree, so that the birds in the air came to lodge in the branches thereof. Another parable spake unto him, The kingdom of heaven is like unto leaven, which a woman took, and hid in 3 measures of meal, till the whole was leavened. All these things spake unto Jesus in the multitude of parables, and without a parable spake he not unto them, that it might be fulfilled which was spoken by the prophet, saying, I will open my mouth in parables, I will utter things which have been kept in secret from the foundation of the world. When Jesus sent the multitude away, and went into the house, and his disciples came unto him, saying, Declare unto the parable of the tares of the field. He answered, and he said unto them, He that soweth the good seed in his is the Son of Man. The field is the world. The good seed are the children of the kingdom, but the tares are the children of the wicked one. The enemy that sowed them is like the devil. The harvest is in the end of the world, and the reapers are the angels. As therefore the tares are gathered and burned up in the fire, they shall be in the end of the world. The Son of Man shall send forth angels, and they shall gather out of his kingdom all things that offend, and to which them do iniquity, and shall cast them into a furnace of fire, where there'll be wailing and gnashing of teeth. Then shall the righteous shine forth as the Son of the kingdom of their Father. Who had ears to hear, let them hear. Again, the kingdom of heaven is like unto treasure in the field, which when a man had found, he hiddeth for joy. Therefore goeth and selleth all that he had, and buyeth that field. Again, the kingdom of heaven is like unto a merchant man seeking goodly pearls, who when he had found one pearl of great price, went and sold all that he had, and bought it. Psalm 18, 1-5. I will love thee, O Lord, my strength. The Lord is my rock, my fortress, and my deliverer, my God, my strength, in whom I will trust, my buckler, and the horn of my salvation, and my high tower. I will call upon the Lord, who is worthy to be praised. So shall I be saved from my enemies. The sorrows of death compressed me, and the floods of the ungodly men made me afraid. The sorrows of hell compassed me about, the snares of death prevented me. In my distress I called upon the Lord, and I cried unto my God. He heard my voice out of his temple, and my cry came before him, even into his ears. Then the earth shook and trembled. The foundation also the hills moved and were shaken, because he was wroth. There went up a smoke up his nostrils, and the fire out of his mouth. Devour coals were kindled by it. He bowed the heavens also, and came down, the darkness was under his feet. And he rode upon a cherub, and did fly, yea, he did fly upon the wings of the wind. He made darkness his secret place, his pavilion around him were dark waters, and thick clouds of the sky. At the brightness that was before him in the thick clouds passed hail, stones, and coals of fire. The Lord also thundered in the heavens, and the highest gave his voice, hailstones and coals of fire. Yea, he sent me out his arrows, and scattered them, and he shot them out of lightning, and discomforted them. And the channels of waters were seen, and the foundations of the world were discovered at thy rebuke, O Lord, at the blast of thy breath of thy nostrils. Proverbs 4 1 through 6. Hear ye, children, the instruction of the Father, and attend to know understanding. For I give you good doctrine. Forsake ye not by my law. For I was my father's son, tender and only beloved in the sight of my mother. He taught me also that he said unto me, let thy heart retain my words, keep my commandments, and live. Get wisdom and understanding, forget it not, neither decline from the words of my mouth. Forsake her not, and she shall preserve thee. Love her, and she shall keep thee. Wow, you guys, this was probably the most impactful um, chapter that I've read so far. Um, to go back from the very beginning, uh, we're talking about Joseph and how he became king, and how his brothers came seeking a help from him. Didn't even recognize their own brother, which is so craziness to think about. Um, and what did I do? That is January 20th. I think I was just messing up, and I just marked the 19th. But okay, so I'm back now. Okay, I just thought I messed up, but I didn't. Okay, so what I was gonna say was I really like how it shows that God will take the turmoil that you have, and He will give you what you is rightly deserved to you. No matter what people do against you and what's taken away from you, as long as you're faithful to Him, so He will give you everything you need. And then I also got out of that one part when we were reading in Matthew. Let's see. Jesus is talking in parables, and I was thinking that he does that sometimes because we wouldn't understand if he didn't. Um, I think back then in the Bible times, he was relating to the people that lived during that time. And the disciples said, why is he talking in parables all the time? Um, but I think it's for the understanding of the people who lived during that time. And maybe even for us today, because we understand the parables even more. And as I'm reading through this parable of the sower and the seeds in the field, I'm really thinking of one thing my pastor had said not too long ago in his sermon. He was talking about the baseball field that we have at our church. And he was talking about how he went to go out there to dig the roots out. And they've been cutting the roots from or cutting the grass and cutting the weeds from the level of the ground. But it was when they realized that they're just going to grow back. They're actually going to have to take out the whole root. and dig all the roots out. And so when they went to go do the field, it was just like pothole and pothole and pothole and pothole of where the um, weeds used to be that they plucked out of the ground from the root. And so it was a thing where they had to learn that the hard way after many, many years of just leveling that field over and over again every season. They shouldn't have that problem anymore because those weeds are gone because they cut them from the root. And God is talking about us. If we are going to be sinners, we're going to be like weeds, and we need to be plucked out of that ground. And if we are going to keep our focus and follow God's commandments as Christians, then we are like the sowers. And um, we will reap what we sow. So if we are doing bad things, that's what we're going to sow. And then if we are doing good things, we're going to have good things in our life. And we're going to see the fruit grow. The trees are going to grow and there's not going to be so many weeds. And, another thing I got out of that is we need to separate ourselves from those weeds, right? He said somewhere here, that the tares are like the wicked ones, and we need to separate ourselves from there. And I love how he keeps saying, "Who has an ear, let him hear what God's saying." And I think as Christians, we do know what God is saying to us in these verses here. And then another thing I was thinking was there was a song in here that I came across and I can't oh now I can't find it. I should have underlined it when I read it. And I just was singing that song. I almost stopped talking because I was like, "Ooh, I'm going to start singing that song." Um I can't find it now. Hold on one second. Let me see if I can find it. I know it had to been in Matthew. Boy, I really couldn't get it out of my head as soon as I read it. Now I can't find it. Um, did you guys remember what song that was? I'm trying to skim over this real quick and I should have marked it down. I'm sorry. But, anyways, it's an old hymn and I knew I was going to want to sing it, but maybe it wasn't in Matthew. Um, but anyways, I love the old hymns when they jump out at me. And then he talks about having this in your heart. Um, and I love that song too. It's an old hymn of, having God's word in your heart, so that you may not sin against him. And I think that's how we know who's a Christian and who's not a Christian. Because if you are a Christian, you're going to hide God's word in your heart so that you may not sin against him. And so, anyways, you know why I can't find it, you guys? I keep going all the way back to chapter 19. I've done it twice now. That's what I keep saying. I keep messing up. Um, but I'm going to keep looking for it. But I'm also going to say what I really do like when he starts talking about hell and how the tares are going to go to hell. He's saying that, that there's going to be gnashing of teeth, wailing and gnashing of teeth, and they are going to be cast into the furnace of fire. That is hell he's talking about, guys. Then he says, then the righteous, the Christians, shine forth as the sun in the kingdom of their Father. And then again, who hath ears, let him hear. That is describing heaven and hell right there, guys. And again, I love how he said in Proverbs 4:1-6 about let his children, the Christians, understand the instruction of the Lord, and that they are to have the understanding and follow his commandments. And as Christians, we are to do that. That is our calling, and that is what God has required of us. Um, I still can't find that hymn, and I know I read it. But, anyways, you guys, I'm sorry for the mistakes I made tonight. I am just exhausted, and it's almost 10 o'clock at night. So, I'm going to let you guys go to bed. Let me know if you figure out what it was, that old hymn that I read. Put it in the comments below if you can. And I'm going to probably think about it when I find it as soon as I get off here to upload. I'm going to keep looking for it, and I'm probably going to be singing it in my head all night long as I go to sleep. So thank you for listening to this podcast, and I will see you in tomorrow's podcast. Bye.